Alright, so I made a poll asking what my first 2023 video should be, and what won is a bit interesting. It was a top 5 2022 champs list, and I was like, man, that's gonna be very controversial, but you know what? It won, so I'll do it. And man, I stressed myself out way too much trying to come up with this list because, like, this year has been very good champion-wise. There's been a lot of champs that were just, like, amazing straight off the bat, and there are some that like took a bit of time for us to understand just how good they were, like Rintra, for example. And then there are some that just like kind of let me down. I don't want to name names there because that's when the controversy starts, but it's fine. Maybe I'll make a video on like my top 5 my top 5 disappointments of the year, because there are some champs that like actually disappointed me, but this can be the top 5 best champs. Well, top 6, because I have a tie for the number 5 spot, and I cannot decide who I want to put there. So yeah, let's get right into that actually. So the number 5 spot is a tie between two characters that I just feel like even though they're in the same class, they are very different characters, and it is Spot and Quicksilver. So I love both of these champs. I think they're so good. Quicksilver, one of the most practical champions in the game. He's so practical, man. He is so like safe to play. His utility is like guaranteed. There's no RNG about it. There is some RNG with his whiplash, but that can change once you're in terminal velocity. There are just a lot of things to love about Quicksilver. His animations are amazing. His damage output is awesome. Like, his damage output is so good. It can go up to like the maximum damage output of Quicksilver is quite crazy. It's like really strong, and his like normal damage like in Battlegrounds is also pretty amazing as well. So there's just like a lot to like about Quicksilver. But then there's Spot, and Spot is like kind of on the up and coming, but I think he is going to be like a top 5 science character, and I think he deserves to be on number 5 this year. So Spot is just broken with the untouchable, man. It is so insane. His untouchable mechanic is just absurd. Like, he misses everything, and that like it equals so much utility. Like, people don't understand how good untouchable mechanics are. Like Ghostface, that's an untouchable mechanic. Shuri has it as well, but Shuri's such a letdown, man. She has no damage output. But Spot does have the damage to back it up because his damage output is stupid. Now, if you were to ask me, should I rank up Unduped Quicksilver or Spot? I'm going to say Quicksilver 100%, because Spot really does want to be awakened because he gets a massive damage benefit when he is awakened. And when Spot is fully decked out, the damage output is busted, man. It is so good. Like, I played with a maxed out Sig 5-star Spot, and the damage is like, wow. I think he outdamages a 6-star rank 4 when he's 5-star rank 5 in max Sig. Like, it is very strong damage output. So yeah, Spot and Quicksilver, those are my number 5. Spot, amazing in Battlegrounds. He ends fights so fast if he can like get going. The one issue I have with Spot, and the reason why he didn't beat Quicksilver, is because the AI gets really annoying with a portal block, and they will just like sit there and just like do one hit into the block and heavy attack, and then do like a heavy attack straight away again. And it gets very annoying because he doesn't have an Infuriate. Well, no, he does have one, but it's after you get untouchable. So like when you're portal blocking, you don't have the Infuriate. You just have to rely on the AI. So that's the only issue I have with Spot. The only issue I have with Quicksilver is that the fight time for a 5-star and a 6-star is basically the same. Like, sometimes it's a bit different, but like for the most part, it is the exact same fight time. And that's like kind of annoying, especially in matches where like time really matters. But it's like, it's fine, I guess. It's like a very minor complaint. I guess the fact that I have less complaints about Quicksilver than Spot is why it's like a reason I should give Quicksilver the number 5 spot. But I'm just gonna have both of them at number 5 because I really cannot decide. So yeah, there is that. And now number 4, we have Rintra. Now Rintra is like the best underdog story this year. He was very like, he wasn't frowned upon at first. Like, people liked him. He was good. But something happened, and people just like woke up and realized this guy is busted because he is so good. His buff control, in my opinion, is way better than Wiccan's and Tigra's. Like, Wiccan in comparison to Tigra and Rintra, man, it's so sad because he like doesn't stand a chance. These guys are like the actual Mystic Gods. Wiccan is like a tier below them, but he's still pretty good. Rintrah is just like absolute insanity though. He is like absolute insanity. His health pool is like the second highest in the game, and he like regens as well, and he gives himself debuffs to heal off of. So you're just like not dying with Rintrah. It is very hard to die with Rintrah, and like if you do die with him, I'm not here to like criticize you or anything. Like, it's fine, we all like make mistakes, but if you are dying a lot in the game and you just want a champion that can like help you get through the game, Rintrah is your guy, because he is very hard to die with, and he is a very strong damage dealer. Like, when he crits, it's just game over. But if he doesn't crit, then there's my one downside of him, and that's why I have him at number 4, not like number 3, because if he doesn't crit, the damage output is a bit disappointing. But other than that, he just has so much going on, man. But it's really just the power control. It's like the taunt, and then like the neutralize. Dude, the neutralize is so good, especially versus like cosmic and superior characters. It is just nuts. So yeah, Rintrah, I like to call him all reliable, because like if you're going to a war fight with a Rintrah, like with Rintrah as your attacker, there is such a high chance that you're surviving. I feel like there is a bigger chance that you survive with Rintrah with like Dr. Doom. Like, I think Rintrah has more survivability than Dr. Doom. I will like stand by that, because Rintrah has like infinite health and he regens. Doom just has a lot of tankiness, but his health pool is pretty low, so like guaranteed crits just like wipe him out, right? Or like it's like guaranteed crits just like wipe him out. Rintrah takes a lot to wipe him out. So yeah, I would put Rintrah at like the number 4 spot this year. And now we have the top 3. I'm going to take a quick break because I'm running out of breath. But yeah, I'll get into the top 3 after that. Okay, I'm back. I have my breath back. And now let's talk about the top 3 characters. And I couldn't decide on who goes where, because these guys are all so good. But I have my number 1. It's just the number 2 and 3 spot. But I think I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to put the number 3 spot to Hulkling, because Hulkling is such a good champion, but I think the number 2 spot just barely nudges him out. Hulkling is such a good character. Like, the damage output is just bonkers, man. The only problem I have with Hulkling is that it's annoying how you have to like switch to just like hitting the opponent to blocking, and then you have to like time your SP2 perfectly. It can get a bit like too much for me, the rotation, but once you master it, it is just like, this guy hits hard. He hits super hard. He is a very that was fireworks. I don't know if you heard that, but there's fireworks going on. Why? It's January 1st already. It's not New Year's Eve. Okay, anyways, but yeah, his damage output is phenomenal. His utility is great. He is like a hard counter to Penny Parker, and he has really unique immunities, so it'll be very useful for like upcoming Battlegrounds metas. And speaking of Battlegrounds, he is a very annoying defender. Like, it takes a pretty good mystic character like Rintrah to take him down. And yeah, he just offers a lot. He does have some weaknesses though. While he doesn't benefit, but like he can counter nullify on defense. On offense, it kind of screws him over, so there is that. That is his one weakness. And the number 2 person doesn't have that weakness because they have immunity to that. But anyways, yeah, Hulkling is the number 3 spot for me. Just so good where it matters, right? He's such a good Battlegrounds attacker. He's such a good Alliance War attacker. Not the best for like Abyss or Labyrinth, but that's fine. There are other characters that are totally made for that. So yeah, now let's talk about my number 2 pick, and that is Gallon. Now, Gallon is one of my favorites. I have him at rank 4. This isn't biased. It's not biased, right? If I have him at rank 4, I just love this character so much. He's such a cool character. His SP3 is so fun. I wish it actually like did something for him, but it really doesn't most of the times. But anyways, let's talk about why I have him at number 2. So the thing that makes me put him at number 2 is the fact that his damage is so unavoidable, right? Because he needs to get buffs to get his planetary mass, and he is immune to like nullify and Fate Seal. He can get staggered, but like he still gets the planetary mass from getting the buff, I believe. So that is just a very awesome thing to have. And additionally, he's immune to like power burn, drain, and lock, and special lock. So you cannot prevent his harvest from happening. You cannot prevent him from like gaining power pretty much, except for like power steal. But that almost never occurs on like defense. Like there aren't any no's at power steal, pretty much. I think it's just like certain defenders do that or certain attackers do that. So yeah, very like hard to counter champion, and his harvest damage it's off a base attack, but it's also direct damage. So direct damage means that like pretty much nothing prevents it. The only thing in the game that prevents it is the Abyss of Legends damage cap and the Labyrinth damage cap and Rage 2.5. Those are the only 3 things that counter it. Other than that, it's just absolute fair game. That is just insane. Like energy resistance can't counter it, physical resistance can't counter it, like anything just can't counter it. It's just so strong. It's such a strong ability. And in Battlegrounds, he is just like the perfect champion, because in rank 4, my Gallon is rank 4, so it's like the perfect amount of damage to like end the Battlegrounds fight very fast. So he is just like the Battlegrounds MVP. He is so good in Battlegrounds, so good in Alliance War as well. There's like a path tailor-made for him, so that's great. And there's also like some other notes that he can take, of course, but he is just so niche when it comes to like his immunities and just like the way he inflicts damage output. But he's niche when it comes to utility, but overall damage output is where he's not niche. He's just like a general Battlegrounds god. So that's why I have on number 2. And then now let me take one more break. I need to catch my breath again, and then we'll talk about my number 1 pick. Okay, I'm back, and I'm ready to talk about my number 1 pick. So my number 1 pick of the year, the best champion of the year, I firmly believe this, is Scorpion. Now, Scorpion is just like a whole different level of insane, in my opinion, because okay, I need to paint a picture. So you know that I'm a Kraven the Hunter like super fan, right? I have him at rank 4 C200. I love the guy to death. I think he's still pretty underrated. I think he's a pretty good character overall. So imagine Kraven the Hunter. You know how Kraven the Hunter has like one of the fastest times and like long matchups? Now imagine that, but Scorpion can even get a faster time than him. And not only that, Kraven is limited to bleed only, and Scorpion has way more than just bleed. He can inflict rupture, he can inflict poison, he can inflict shock, and not only that, he has an arsenal of utility as well, and he is super good for short matchups as well. That is Scorpion. Scorpion is just like this combination of insanity, right? He has the damage to last in short matchups, he has the damage to last in long matchups, he has the damage to last in medium matchups as well. This guy can take any fight in the game pretty much, because he has the damage for all of it. And also, he has like 2 immunities up at a time, and some are very unique. Like Rupture immunity is super unique, man. He is the only Rupture immune character in the entire game. I know other characters have like physical resistance, but he is just like straight up immune to Rupture, so that is fantastic. He's also immune to shock and poison, which are great immunities to have. And additionally, he has like access to a taunt, and he can inflict 3 different types of debuffs. And not only that, the one thing that I love about him is his awakened ability, because in Battlegrounds, when you accidentally take damage, you know, we all make mistakes, right? We all take damage sometimes in Battlegrounds. He can inflict the SP2 Petrify, and then he just regens the full in like an instant, because his signature ability lets him lifesteal any health that he is like reversing or like preventing. So it's just absolute insanity, and he's just a very easy champion to play as well. It's really easy to like keep him at full health because he has perfect parries. There is just so much that this guy offers. And then I haven't even talked about the best part. The best part is the Agent Venom synergy, because he gets 10% attack per sting of the opponent. So once you get a couple stings going, not only are your stings doing insane damage, but your mediums and light attacks are doing insane damage as well. So you just do so much damage that it's honestly just like, what even is the point of playing any other character but this guy? Because his damage output is so fast. It is so fast, especially with the Agent Venom synergy, that it's just like, what is even this character anymore? Like, I'm like literally stressing out because I cannot just describe how good this champion is. There's just so much that he does. He is a Battlegrounds god. He is a god in Alliance War. And then you just add Kraven and Agent Venom, and Agent Venom is like this crazy champion as well. He's like a top 5 skill with Scorpion and Kraven, and Scorpion enables him. So it's like, you need to have Scorpion because he counts as two characters, right? Scorpion counts as two characters. He counts as Agent Venom and he counts as himself because they are both broken champions. So he enables one character. He is an absolute god himself, and he's just useful in every piece of content. So of course this guy is my number one pick because he is just absolute insanity. Like, he is just absolute insanity. And yeah, I think I talked way too much there and I'm already out of breath, but I think Scorpion is by far the number one character this year because there is just so much he does. He is like my go-to quester, honestly. If it's not Quicksilver, it's Scorpion because Scorpion is just so fast. He is so fast. Like, I know Quicksilver is the speedster, but Scorpion is just so fast damage-wise. And yeah, that wraps up my top 5 champions of the year. Just a reminder, it is Spot and Quicksilver at number 5, then Rintra, then Hulkling, then Gallon, and then my number 1 pick is easily Scorpion. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on my list. Please let me know your own list down in the comments. And this is going to come out at nighttime, I believe. So yeah, this is going to be a little nighttime special. And yeah, that's about it for me.